Hello everybody, my name is Rodrigo and you're watching Travelzilla. Today I'm here to help you to get your visa to visit the United States of America. Let's go! Hi, welcome to Travelzilla. Don't forget to add me on Instagram and Twitter. Come say hello, and the links are right below at the description. And don't forget to drop a like before we start. I'm gonna show you some scenes of my future vlogs of the United States. Come spend 1 minute in America with me. Let's go. Let's check it out. It's amazing. I'm so excited. I haven't been there in 18 years. Hey guys, it was a bit too hot, so I had to put my hat on. You like it? I love my hat. It's yellow, it's cozy. Hello everybody, so I'm back. My name is Rodrigo and I'm here to help you to get your visa to visit the United States. So listen up, before you actually apply for your visa, you need to decide what are you going to do in the United States in the next coming years. Are you going to go there for tourism only? Is there a possibility you're going to go there for business, or are you going to go there for business and tourism? You need to decide before you apply, otherwise you're gonna have to apply again. So you can apply for a B1 visa if you're going there for business only. And I quote, and this is from the American government, okay, B1 is to consult with an associate, attend a specific educational, professional, or business convention or conference, settle an estate, and negotiate contracts. That's when you apply for a B1 visa. Now, if you're going there for tourism, and I quote this from the US government website as well, a B2 is for tourism, vacation, medical treatment, amateur in sports, medical events, or contests, if not paid. Short-term courses, not for credit towards a degree. So if you're going to the United States to take that English course for a month, you're not gonna, take credits towards a degree. You're not gonna enter college or anything like that, okay? So then that's when you apply for a B2 visa, all right? Now, if you're staying there for a longer amount of time, you might need to fall into a different category, okay? You may get a student visa, an I-20, but that's a subject for a whole different video, okay? Now, if today you may go to the United States for tourism, but maybe a year from now you're gonna go there for business or something like that, apply for a B1, B2 visa. It's also possible, okay? The prices are the same, and the only thing that's gonna change is the way you're gonna apply or how you're gonna apply for these visas, because when you fill out the DS-160 form, you're gonna inform them what kind of visa you would like to apply for. So is it gonna be a B1, B2, or B1, B2 visas, okay? The steps or the procedures will be different from consulate to consulate or embassy to embassy, country to country. So even though you're watching this video, please do your research. Definitely see if the rules apply to your country. And also, when it comes to immigration or visas, the rules change all the time, okay? So even though you're watching this, and these rules are based on the latest things I've heard from the US consulate or embassy in different countries, and I've done a lot of research, they may change, okay? So do your research. So step number 1 is to fill out a form called DS-160. But in order for you to fill out that form, you need to be prepared. And how can you get prepared for something like that? Get your passport, because you're gonna need to provide your name exactly as it's written on your passport and expiration date, stuff like that. You're also gonna need to provide your work history, education history. Do you work? Where do you work? How long have you worked there? So you need to prepare your CV or resume. Yes, CV or resume in case you don't have one. Come up with one, okay? You're gonna have to write one really well written with all your work and educational history, all right? Also, your travel history, the 5 times you've been to the United States previous to this one, in case you've been to the United States before. If you haven't been to the United States 5 times before this one, not a problem at all. Just say, well, I've never been to the United States before. But they're going to ask you to provide your travel history. So if you've been to other countries aside from the United States, let them know, okay? Also, your taxes and stuff like that, you know, make sure you get all that information ready, okay? Let's say the bank statements, your taxes, you know, work history, family history, if you have you know, any properties and stuff like that. Just gather all the documents, you know, because you may not need them now, but you're going to need them for your interview, possibly, depending. It varies a lot from country to country, you know. So for the form DS-160, which is our number 1, you're gonna have to be prepared to fill it out, all right? So after you're prepared, you're gonna have to start doing it. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to the site, which is below here, okay? There's a link to it. Is the US State Department. Click on the link and then they're gonna ask you to register. And once you register, you say, okay, I wanna fill out a form, you're gonna get a number, okay? Make sure you print screen that number, write it down, take a picture with your cell phone, I don't care, all right? But make sure you have that saved somewhere, just in case, all right? And then you're gonna ask to type a code. They wanna know that you're not a computer program or a hacker or anything like that. So put on a code and then they're gonna ask they're gonna ask you to answer, you know, questions like your mother's name, father's name, your passport number. I actually have it written down here. Okay, mother's name, purpose of your visit, length of stay, email, phone number, travel information, where you're gonna stay in the United States, the United States contact. Let's say you have a family in the United States or a friend, you know, are you staying at a hotel, you know, so make sure you provide all of that information. And if you don't have that information, don't lie. Just say, don't have that information yet, all right? Because a lot of people apply for the visa to the United States before they actually buy tickets or stay in hotels. But if you have an idea of the hotel you want to stay, or if you're staying at a friend's house, then you can put the address, not a problem at all, okay? And also your work, education, and training, all right? Don't buy your tickets before you apply for a visa. Don't do stuff like that, you know? Apply for the visa, then buy your tickets, all right? So that's step number 1 for you. The form DS-160, make sure you're prepared for that with all your information such as passport, work history, travel history, previous times you've been to the United States, passport number, you know, your taxes and everything like that. Everything they ask you, okay? Anything they ask you, you're gonna provide right there. And then the purpose of your visit. And then you're gonna fill out the form answering all questions possible. And the questions at the DS-160 form actually range, I mean, they cover various subjects, you know, and there are several security questions they're gonna ask you, okay? Also, when you're filling out your application form, you're going to need to take a picture, you know, so make sure you follow all the photo requirements. Okay, you're gonna need to provide a picture online, and when you go for your first interview, you're gonna need to take a picture with you as well. So what are the photo requirements? You know, and I quote this from their website, all right? The photo must be in color, taken in the last 6 months, in front of a plain white or off-white background, full face, directly to the camera. Nothing like this. Sunglasses, no way. A map at the back like me, look, there's a map at the back. No, white or off-white, okay? This is serious stuff. So, clothing you'll normally wear, okay, so like for example, you're a firefighter, you're not gonna take a picture dressed in your uniform, you know what I mean? They don't want that, you know? So no uniforms in your photo, no hat, and no glasses. No glasses, no sunglasses, okay? They just want to see what you look like, and they want to be able to identify you if anything happens, okay? It's for your own safety and also for the safety of the American people. So do it, because if you don't follow the rules, your visa is going to be either delayed or denied, okay? Attention everyone, now it's official. The US government's asking all applicants to list every single social media profile they've used in the past 5 years, as well as a list of email accounts and phone numbers used in the same period of time. The rumors were true. Get ready, your social media behavior will be taken into account too. You will be asked to list all your social media accounts at some point during your DS-160 application. Now, once you complete the application, review your information and then submit. But please, you don't need, if you're not sure, you can stop, review everything. You don't need to complete at this very moment. You can wait for tomorrow, And then once you complete your DS-160, you're gonna click submit, and then it's gonna generate a code. You're gonna have to save that onto your computer and also print that, okay? Because you're gonna need that. Because when you finish filling out your form, you're gonna go to step 2. And what is step 2? So guys, well, after you finish filling out your form DS-160, you're gonna need to move on to step 2, which is scheduling your interview. But of course, there's a catch, okay? Before you actually schedule your interview, you're gonna need to pay for the visa, okay? You're gonna need to pay for the visa fees. And in most countries, the visa fees will cost you $160 US, okay? In certain countries, you're gonna need to pay for your passport to be sent to you or to a visa center or, of some type, like VSF Global, for example, or you're gonna have to maybe go to the consulate or embassy to pick it up. It changes from country to country, so do your research, okay? So you're gonna have to pay for the visa, and online, you can pay through your credit card, all right? You can also pay at any Citibank branch, all over the world, and in some countries, they also can bill you. So you can pay, like the United States government is gonna actually generate billing for you, and you can, pay for it online, with your app or stuff like that, but usually it takes 2 to 3 days in order for it to get billed in the system, and then they're gonna generate a code, and then if that happens in your home country, you're gonna have to keep logging onto the system, and see if the payment went through and stuff like that. But for the most part, you're gonna be able to pay with your credit card or directly at Citibank, all right? So check out the payment methods because they will change from country to country. That's one of the biggest changes from country to country. How can you pay for your American visa? Okay, you paid for your American visa. They'll ask for proof of it, they'll ask for proof of it. So print it out, make sure you print out your payment slip or, a confirmation, an email confirmation from the American consulate or embassy that you've paid for your visa, stuff like that. Usually take 2 business days, and then once you have that, it's going to generate a number, and also you're going to have to put in the system the number that was generated when you completed your form DS-160. All right, so you're gonna have 2 numbers there, like a payment confirmation number, and your DS-160 completion number. Okay. Once your payment has been confirmed and once you've finished filling out your form, you will log on to a different site, okay? And I'm gonna post the link down here at the description as well. And then you're gonna be able to schedule your interview, all right? I'm gonna talk about the interviews that require 2 different processes because that's what happens in a lot of countries, including Brazil. In a lot of countries, you need to go to a visa center like VSF Global, as I mentioned before, and make sure they have your fingerprints, all right? And they're gonna check all your information. They're gonna see your code that was generated, that was generated when you finished your DS-160 application. They're gonna get your fingerprints and then give you a piece of paper, and then you're gonna put it all together with extra information, and then go on to your interview at the United States consulate or embassy nearest to you. It's always a bit harder, to apply for a visa to the United States when you're outside your home country, because you're gonna need to prove, your ties to your home country, or that you work in your home country, that you study there. And it's also, it's always easier to prove these things when you are in your home country, right? So, okay, you're gonna pay $160 to the US consulate, and how do you do that? That will also change slightly from country to country. I know that certain countries will allow the United States consulate to actually bill you, so they're going to generate a bill, and you take that bill to the bank, or you pay it on your app, your bank app in your home. It's possible, but when that happens, it will usually take up to 3 days, in order for that bill to process in the system. And then you're going to get an email confirming that, they've received your email, your payment's been confirmed and stuff like that. You can also pay by credit card, at the website, or you can make a direct deposit on Citibank, and that happens in some countries, not in every country. So please do your research and check how you can pay for your visa in your home country, okay? I know that in Brazil, for example, you don't need to pay for your visa, for your passport, to be shipped to your home anymore. And here you have the option to either have it sent to your home, or you can pick it up at the Visa Processing Center, or the VSF Global Company Building Facility, whatever. Okay, so you can also access the website of the State Department, the US State Department, and there you can just type the name of your city, or the name where the consulate from which you're applying your visa from is located, and then they'll display automatically the city, the amount of days that usually visas take to be issued, and the cost of the visa per city, per country. So check it out. I'm going to show you some of them, okay? Including Rio, Seoul, Mumbai, Shanghai, Mexico City, so on and so forth. Check it out. So for the most part, if you're between 14 and 79 years old, you will be required to do an interview at the American consulate. If you're under 14, so 13 and younger, you may not be required. In certain cases, you will be required to show up for an interview. And if you're above 79, usually you're not required to schedule an interview as well. Okay guys, so let's go over it all, okay? So you're gonna fill out your form DS-160, and then you're gonna generate a code, and then with that code, you're gonna schedule your appointment. And before actually showing up to the appointments, you're gonna have to pay for your visa fee. I talked about, different ways of paying it, the prices, how you can find out how long your visa is taking to be issued in your home city, in your home country, so on and so forth. I've given you examples of different cities. The interview process varies from country to country. In certain countries, you can do it all at once, your fingerprints and your interview. And in certain countries, you have two phases to it. You go to a visa center with part of your documents, and they take your fingerprints. And then after that, because it makes it all faster, that's why the US government does that abroad, and then after you get that part done, then you go for an interview. But the thing is, in the countries that have two phases to the visa process, make sure that you schedule the two phases in different days, okay? And make sure that you give them your fingerprints before your interview, because if you show up to your interview without the first phase done, they're gonna send you back. So make sure you schedule for different days, and make sure that your interview, your actual interview, is later on. All right guys, when you go for your interview, you should be prepared, because they might ask for proof of anything. So be prepared for everything. But that doesn't mean that you're actually gonna need to use the proof that you have with you. But it's always better to have more than less when it comes to proof, okay? So when you actually go for your interview with the immigration official, be calm, be truthful, do not lie, ever, because you might just not be able to ever go back to the United States, or it will be much harder for you to do so. So do not lie to these people. Keep in mind that, you see an immigration official every once in a while, and they see hundreds upon hundreds of people just like you every day. You're not the specialist. They are the specialist. They have been trained, and they are true professionals. And you'd be surprised how incredibly well trained many, if not all, of these people are. Okay? And also, you want to make sure that you're not lying to anybody, and some immigration officials I've heard will actually ask you again if they think you're lying. Some of them may give you a second chance, but some of them will never give you a second chance. So it varies a lot from person to person. So be prepared, be nice, and always be truthful, okay? Because you never know if the immigration official that will interview you will like you, they won't have the time to do that. But you know what? They're just gonna look at you and say, okay, this person seems all right, Are they gonna have any empathy with you? And if not, be ready to prove your point. Nicely, always, Keep in mind that that person is gonna be there working, and you're just gonna be visiting the United States, all right? So you don't need to lie. Just be truthful. And if you're truthful and they say no to your visa, you can always reapply. Of course, it's a bit harder when you've been denied, but you didn't lie. If you lie and they realize you lied, they're gonna write it down. This person is a liar or something like that, and then it's gonna be much, much harder. I know of a lot of people who have had visas who have been denied and then have reapplied and then have been granted a visa. Okay, and visas change from country to country and from time to time. So you never know. You never know. I've had people that have been denied student visas and they've been approved for, tourist visas. And there is no rule. Like I know very rich, successful people that have been denied visas to the United States, and I know very simple people, that actually have visas to the United States, 10-year visas, so there is no rule. You just need to prove your point and make sure that you prove a few things in order for you to be granted a visa into the United States. And the visa itself is no guarantee of entry, because the immigration official can either allow you to visit the United States or deny your entry to the United States, even if you have a visa. Okay? So it's a bit complicated. Okay, so when you go for your interview, don't be nervous. You're visiting the United States, be truthful. All right? If you want to work in the United States, apply for a different visa. Study different options of how you could get a job in the United States. There is like temporary work, special programs. You can work at Disney temporarily, do your research. You can live in the US through academia, but if you apply for a tourist visa, make sure you're only going to be a tourist. If you apply for a business visa, make sure you'll be there for business. Do not lie, ever. Okay? So, what documents should you take with you? All right, you're gonna need to take your passport, your DS-160, proof of payment, and also you're gonna have to prove to that official, if they ask you, okay, be prepared that you have a job, you take a contract, or maybe tax returns, your personal tax returns. If you have a company, your company tax returns, take the originals with you, the original tax returns, whatever they are in your home country. You need to take proof of income, bank statements. If you're paying for you and your kid, make sure that you prove that you can actually pay for both of you. Travel history, previous passports, anything may help. Sometimes when you go for an interview at the American consulate, they don't ask you much. Like I told you, these people are very well trained. Very well trained. A lot of times they just know. So a lot of interviews will last about a minute. They'll just say, okay, what's the purpose of your visit to the United States? Is it your first time? Ask you a couple of questions, and a lot of times they may not even ask you for any piece of document at all. but that doesn't mean you shouldn't prepare for it. Because certain immigration officials, if they sense that something is wrong with you, maybe you're too nervous, maybe you're not doing anything wrong, but maybe they just sense, that fear or whatever, or maybe they were told to be tougher, because guidelines, government guidelines, they change from time to time. So in certain times, the consulate will, just be a little more gentle. In certain times it will be tougher. It changes accordingly, to the political moment, to the economy. So be prepared, okay? So take your proof of income, travel history, contracts, anything that will prove ties to your country. Are you going to school? Are you, attending an MBA or something like that? You're traveling by yourself, but your wife and kids live here. They study. Make sure you prove all the ties to your country. Most likely, your interview will not last more than 5 minutes, okay? And you can always try again, all right? And you can always ask why it was denied, gently and nicely. That person is there working and defending their country, okay? So be nice. They may answer you, they may not answer you, but it doesn't hurt to ask gently and nicely, always. Immigration officials always have the utmost respect for the people who are there. They usually live in the countries, where they work, so they know the people, and it's not always easy for them to deny a visa. But they have their reasons, and we have to respect them. And if you don't agree with it, you can always reapply. And also, the money you've paid for your visa will not be given back to you, okay? It's part of the process, just so you know. So you can't get the money back. That's why you need to pay up front. So guys, thank you so much for staying with me all the way till the end of this video. I really appreciate you. Please don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe. Do your research, because rules, sometimes change. Actually, they change quite often. And also processes change a little bit from country to country, okay? Make sure you apply from your home country, wherever you live. And, make sure you go well prepared for your interview as well. And I love the United States. It's a great country. I studied there when I was younger. I visited many times, like dozens of times. I've been to 23 states, and I have a lot of family up in Canada, Canadians born and raised, so I always have to go through the United States to get to Canada, because I have a lot of family there. My nephew and my niece were born there. And that's pretty much it. I wish you all the best. Make sure you never lie. Make sure you're truthful. Don't get in trouble, be honest, and I wish you the best time in this wonderful country called the United States of America. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much, and once again, don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe. And also, I'm going to be launching my blog. It's a travel blog soon called Travelzilla IM. So access my blog, subscribe to the newsletter, even though the blog isn't ready yet, but just, make sure that you apply for the newsletter, and I'll let you know when I launch it, all right? See you in my next videos. Watch all my videos. I've been to over 69 countries, and I've filmed over 35 of them, and I can't wait to share all of them with you. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye. Good luck in the United States.